The opposition National Democratic Congress is asking government to make public funds expended on the recent town hall meetings. In the view of the party, the monies used could be channeled into other areas of the struggling economy. At a news conference, the party indicated that it has joined forces with other political parties and some civil society groups and organizations to stage a massive demonstration dubbed Y3NTUA Demo on Thursday, and that demonstration will be in protest against the controversial subject of the electronic transaction levy and government's failure to address the concerns of striking university lecturers. National Youth Organizer of the NDC, George Opare-Addo, at a news conference demanded the immediate termination of the town hall meetings, describing it as wasteful expenditure.
Our country in recent times is rolling back on its progress. Times are hard for everyone, and times are hard for the many young people who live in this country. The future looks very bleak, and it has become extremely difficult for families to even feed. We have an ever-increasing public debt, worsening economic conditions, bad governments liaised with impunity, stealing, pilfering of the public purse, the use of state security to intimidate citizens, like what we've seen in the issues of Captain Smart and the many other Ghanaian journalists who have been bold enough to speak about the bad governance that this government has given to us so far. State capture through corrupt deals and other provocative happenings in the country. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has not been able to deal with these vices being superintended by him himself to set a good example for his own appointees. It is no longer news to see energetic young men and women of our country idling without jobs. It is almost becoming painfully acceptable to see families struggling to afford a square meal a day. Just one meal a day is a problem for many families, and this is not a better Ghana Nana Addo Dankwa promised the good people of this country. Ghanaians are being coerced to accept that they must give out their little earnings to appointees of this corrupt, dishonest Akufo-Addo Bawumia government to live a luxurious and ostentatious lifestyle. We cannot continue to fund the incorrigible lifestyles of Akufo-Addo and his appointees, and we say enough is enough. In the midst of all this, there is no conscionable person in the NPP's government, right from cabinet through parliament to the leadership of the NPP, to counsel the president and his cabinet that they must sacrifice by cutting down their profligate spending and bring economic respite for the poor people across the country who are living in extraneous conditions. Already, Ghanaians are saddled with many taxes, resulting in the increases in petroleum products, high tariffs, and if you care to know, in the coming days, your electricity bill will be going up again. Your water bill will be going up again. We understand GPRTU is going to increase fuel price, transport fares by another 30% because of the price build-up. And we believe strongly that most of the taxes out there are nuisance taxes that should not be given the opportunity to see the day of light. The president and his spokesmen have given comic reasons why there is a need to impose the E-Levy. The only reason why this government is doing everything possible to impose the E-Levy is that Ghana is not credit-worthy. Hence, it can no longer borrow or raise bonds on the international market. And I believe that in the last few days, you've seen how we've been downgraded. Today, Ghana on the international market means nothing. We are highly poor and cannot borrow on the market. So they believe that the only way for raising revenue is to impose the E-Levy on us. What we are saying is that the E-Levy is a no-brainer. In 2009, when President Mills, the late, may he so rest in peace, and his competent vice president and the leader of the economic management team, John Mahama, took over office, when we were faced with challenges, they resorted to innovations. like the price stabilization levy that was introduced. Then financial institutions were made to pay more. They were taxed 5% of their tax before profits. The then finance minister owned the bank, owned the finance company, but he agreed that financial institutions should be made to pay 5% of their profits before tax into a stabilization account. Same for insurance companies and then the breweries. Today, we know how much the telcos are making. We all understand that last year alone, mobile money transactions exceeded $500 million. What it simply means is that they made more profits. The NDC is not against taxation. All we are saying is that financial institutions are making abnormal profits. What President Mills and President Mahama did, why is Ken Ofori-Atta refusing to tax financial institutions and insurance companies? Because his enterprise group is making so much from the states, and the amount of money they have made in the last 5 years from government transactions is enough to take care of the $6 billion they are seeking to raise from the E-Levy. If they want innovation, the NDC have an array of ideas to supply them with. Tax the right sources. The extractive industry is still available.
Well, at the same event, a coalition of university students who indicated their resolve to join the demonstration asked government to desist from using the National Labour Commission as a bullied referee to sabotage the university lecturers. The students say the industrial action is having a toll on their academic activities, serving notice of their intention to go on demonstration tomorrow.
Students watching me here, with other conveners here with me, I speak on behalf of your interest. Maybe you wouldn't gather the momentum to stand before the huge media and expel your grievances to the government that has been so insensitive to the plight of our lecturers. Our lecturers have laid down their tools and apparatus and embarked on an indefinite strike. UTAG on Monday, 10th January 2022, officially embarked on this indefinite strike, and it's been several days and we've been in the 5th week, yet still, these lecturers have decided not to return to the classrooms.
Well, let's have some conversation on this controversial electronic transaction levy one more time. Joining me now via Zoom is Collins Adomako-Mensah. He's Member of Parliament for Kwabre North and also a member of the Finance Committee in Parliament. Thank you for your time. So it appears that there's still growing reactions and resistance towards this E-Levy. For now, we know that it's out of the chamber, it's out of the floor of the House. It would not be considered anytime soon. Is it fair to say that government should forget about bringing this back onto the floor of the House for consideration?
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for having me. I listened to your show a few minutes ago when I saw friends from the NDC announcing their preparedness to stage a demonstration. It is a democratic right. They have every right to demonstrate as part of our democratic practice. And I can assure them that government will not impede them in any way. They are entitled to embark on their demonstrations. As a government, we have continuously insisted that it's important that we put together homegrown strategies to take care of our economic challenges as of now. We believe very strongly that we have to continue to raise revenue internally to take care of our challenges. We'll continue to engage as we've done. As you know, it started at 1.75. Through engagement, it has come down to 1.5. Through engagement, the telcos have decided to reduce their charges by 0.25. So now it's 1.75. And so we'll continue to engage and we'll continue to explain to the people, including my good friends from the NDC, why it is so important that we do this on our own.
The party is raising a new dimension to the conversation. They talk about the increasing speed at which government is holding town hall meetings to engage citizens on a policy which you have already indicated your resolve on. Is it feasible that at this point would have some accounting being done by government on this?
The point I'm making is that there's nothing wrong in government continuously engaging the people. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Government brings out a policy, people misunderstood probably where government was coming from. Government is continuing to engage them to explain to people why it is important that we take this particular step at this particular point in time. I don't see anything wrong with that. You could talk about the fact that probably late, yes, I might agree with you that yes, we could have done this earlier on, and I've said this on a couple of platforms. Government could have engaged the people more before announcing this policy. But it's better late than never. Government has a duty to continuously engage the people and continue to explain to people, especially when people who are supposed to know better, and when people who have read the bill continuously throw out falsehood. I heard a couple of people talking about the fact that even ATM, when you put your ATM card into a machine, you are charged. Some of these things are worrying. People know the truth, but they continuously make false statements just to please a certain group of people. And so government will continue to engage. Yes, it might be late, but I don't think it's out of place for government to continue to engage.
Unfortunately, what you have happening now is that the NDC is leading their grassroots onto the streets. Don't you feel that that would make the policy more unpopular for government and hence its possibility of introduction?
I don't think so at all. I mean, clearly you could see that is a party position that they've taken. The NDC thinks that one of the ways to demonstrate or their resolve against this particular policy is to go on the streets. Why not? I mean, as I said earlier on, that's the beauty of our democracy. I can assure that the government is going to give them all the protection that they need. I just hope that they go through the processes by notifying the police and go through the routes that will be given to them. That's it. I mean, we don't have any problem at all with they going on a demonstration. While they go on a demonstration, we will continue to do our town hall meetings. We'll continue to engage our constituents and explain to them why it's so important for us to embark on this particular internally generated revenue policy at this particular moment.
We can be certain to say now, Collins, that the future of the E-Levy hangs in the balance now. We do not know what the option will be for government. In the likely event that this bill does not go through, is government really eyeing another form of revenue measures that you intend to adopt to filling that gap that may be created as a result of the possible withdrawal of the 6.9 billion fund that you're seeking to rake in through the E-Levy?
Well, at this point in time, government still believes very strongly that if we continue to engage our colleagues on the other side and continue to explain to them the need for this, it will get to a time that we can reach an amicable solution. So we don't believe that it's not possible. It is possible to have this thing passed through. But in the unlikely event that it doesn't, I don't have any information from government speaking to you at the moment what government intends to do next. I don't have that information, so I don't want to venture into that particular. Don't forget that I'm not in the ministry, nor that am I in the executive really. So, and I've not received any brief as to government's next step if this does not go through.
Collins Doma Comensa, we wait to see what then happens in the coming days.